Okay. Anywhere in between, if you feel that voice is breaking or something, just let me know on to the chat, right? Fine. Yesterday we started with, what exactly is the difference between a cloud computing and a conventional on-premise application. So I told you the first and the major difference between a cloud technology and the other on-premise is that cloud doesn't require any pre-installation. So any application, any cloud-based application, if you wanted to access it, right, you just require to have a browser, and the most important thing would be an internet, right? So if you're having these two things, which I feel that everybody now is having, every one of us, usually have internet, a good connectivity in internet, at least in our country, and obviously every device come with a browser. So even you go with the laptop, you go with like you have any device, it actually have a browser in it, right? So we could say that from any place, from any device, we could access the cloud applications. That is what the most advantageous kind of thing about the cloud computing. Now there is one more important point where we would like to have a discussion about the cloud computing, and that's essential to know. It's like there is a concept of on service. Everything whatever the facility, whatever the cloud provides you, cloud actually provides it on the basis of service, on service. Now what exactly it means by on service? See, uh there was a time, still I cannot say that there was a time, this is something which is still going on. When you consider an on-premise technology, for example, you being a software company, let's say, and you wanted to do the development on .NET. Okay, so you obviously would going to require something called as user licenses. I mean, that is something you would require to purchase from the Microsoft. You'd require to ask them for the user licenses. And say, let's say that you are having a team of 10 developers plus two managers, okay, and one of the delivery head, or maybe somebody like, so you at least would going to require, like, somewhere around like 15 to 20 licenses, right? And that's why you will make a contact with the Microsoft, and you will describe them your requirement, that we recently got a new project on .NET, and we are having a team of 10 developers plus two delivery managers or whatever, right? So that's the reason, we wanted to have a kind of like 15 licenses copies of .NET. So they will provide you that. You obviously would require to pay a lump sum amount, and they'll provide you that. And whenever you buy any such kind of user license, that product completely becomes you. That means you becomes the owner of that, right? Okay. Let's say the version of .NET what you have purchased, what, let's say it's like 3.0. It was 3.0, and your developer has started working almost like 2 and 3 years, or maybe 4 years have gone. And now recently Microsoft has launched, for example, a new version. It's 4.0. You are the version what you are using, existing version in your computer, is 3.0. And now the Microsoft come up with a new version of .NET 4.0, and you wanted yourself to get upgraded. Like you are initially using 3.0, you wanted yourself to get upgraded. So you again write and you draft an email to Microsoft saying that, see, I'm your existing customer. It's 3 years back. I paid you this much of the amount. I have taken 15 licenses of .NET, but that were on 3.0. Now I wanted, we wanted that we wanted to upgrade ourselves as well, because you upgraded the product. We also wanted to upgrade ourselves. Could you please provide us the new version? They will say, yes, happily we could do that. We could happily do you that. We could happily do it for you. But see, it is not going to be free. You have to pay the amount for that. You will say, I'm an existing customer of yours. Yeah, I already had paid you this much of the amount. It's a big amount I have paid you to get the 15 licenses, 15 copy of the licenses. Microsoft say, hey, we don't have any such policies. If you wanted to upgrade yourself, you have to pay us. If you wanted to buy our new product, you again have to pay it for us. This is something what the Microsoft does. And this was the reason, guys. This was the reason. I'm talking this in terms of, like, let's say 10 years back, because cloud could be probably new for you. It's not new in the technology. It's started almost 20 years back. But then I mean, there's a problem. There's a problem with technology that, especially in India, it comes a little bit later. There could be so many reasons for that, political reasons, or maybe some other good reasons. Although, the India is that country which is actually supplying, you know, the biggest, I mean, the crowd of software engineers actually come from India. And whenever whenever somebody has an Indian, we consider to be the most analytical mind. That means even in this happens with the software industries as well. Later on, we're going to say you about, uh, that most of the development part, the coding parts and all that, they are being outsourced to India, because Indians are considered to be the most excellent, excellent developers, excellent coders. But still the technology comes a little bit late in India. So this happens with every technology, for the Salesforce as well as happens. In 1999, Salesforce was started, but it comes in India in 2011. See how much gap, how much gap of this. So this is what a certain drawback with our country. But anyways, that's not an issue. So what I was saying is like, uh just a second, I just forgot that point. Slip हुआ मेरे से. Uh, Anyways, मुझे याद आएगा तो I'll come back to that. So see, so there is nothing, there's nothing in a conventional on-premise technology called as on-service. Whenever you wanted to buy a license of a software, you just require to buy for something called as user license. Yeah, okay, I got that point. So what was I was trying to say is like, let's talk in terms of what was happening in 10 years or maybe 15 years back. Whenever, for example, you guys are friends, there are there are five guys who are friends, and they decided that they will not going to work for any company, rather they wanted to become an entrepreneur. And so they have decided after their graduation is over, they will going to form a company called startup. Oh, okay. They will going to be, they will going to be, I mean, form their own startup. They will going to start their own business, a software company they will going to establish. They were having their own dreams, right? Every time whenever they meet, they used to have a same discussion, guys, as soon as we're going to get the graduation, let's start our own company for this. Okay, fine, that's a good idea. And then see, when they start, what is the biggest hurdle? It's not hardware. It was not at all hardware. What is the most expensive thing was software. For an IT firm, it is mandatory to get the licensed versions of Apple softwares. There's no concept of piracy. It all started by, it all started by purchasing the licensed versions of operating system. So this is something which is happening. I mean, it's still going on, but this was major before cloud. This was the major hurdle. There was no concept called a startup. Whenever there is an IT firm, it have a huge investment in behind. Why? Because hardware was a negligible thing. That time hardware was, although it was also costly, but that was a negligible factor. The most important, I mean, the most expensive area of investment for an IT company was to buy the licensed versions of application, and they were very costly. They were very costly. That was the reason, that time Java was very popular. Still Java is very popular. Still Java is using. ऐसा नहीं है कि Java outdated हुआ है. Java is still something which is going on these days. Forms are different. Why? Because Java was somebody who has introduced a concept of open source. There are so many, libraries of Java that are available, you know, without, and you can get it. You just require to download. There's no licensing cost for that. But there was certain issues with the open source technology. When you go with an open source technology, anybody could, um, I could say that, make the changes in the base codings, so that were a little bit threat with that technology. But Microsoft maintained its legacy, that Microsoft has never given anything uh, on a free of the cost. Whenever you buy, you wanted a product of Microsoft, you have to pay for it. Whether it's an operating system, whether it's an office suite, whether it's programming environments like .NET or something else, whether it's an SQL servers, that is also a Microsoft product. So that's the reason, Microsoft is one of the biggest organization. They have generated lots of the revenue. They have generated lots of the revenue, because everything, when you wanted to have a service, you have to buy it. And when you buy it, you something called as user license. That copy becomes your own personal copy. So when somebody, 15 years back, if somebody is actually, is thinking to establish his own software company, the most expensive thing What was required for that time was actually software to get the license version softwares, right? That was the thing. And then, then a technology comes in, and that is something called as cloud computing. Now, cloud has, it was a revolutionary thing. Cloud has changed the whole environment. How come this is? See, cloud is completely based on a fact called everything, whatever a cloud provides you, every service, what a cloud provides you, that is on the rental basis. That is on the rental basis. We call this as a service, software as a service, platform as a service. I'm just slowly bringing you towards this topic. Platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, as a service, everything, whatever clouds you provides you, that is as a service. What is this as a service? What is this as a rental basis? See, you can simply understand the difference. It's a very small thing, and this is what we are seeing right now. You are technological guys, you know, you are living in an era of technology, and everything what you see, we I cannot say that we are like, we are living in a kind of urban. No, everyone, even we are, if we are even living in urban, we are in a touch with technology. All because, like, we are having a good internet in our country. We are having great brands of mobile phones and as well. And that's the reason we, all of us, like, we are aware about the technology. So you wanted to attend your friend's party, and you, like, you ekdam, you just prepare up kya bolte usko, you got ready with all like makeups and everything. Your look is very shaggy, and suddenly, suddenly rain started. You wanted to attend the party, but problem is that अब बाहर जाएगा तो obviously rain में, बारिश में गीला हो जाएगा. So what you do in that case, right? You just open your mobile, you book a cab for you, right? And then I mean, जो तुमने cab कर लिया, and you traveled with the car. Now see, this is what you hired a car. You know, you ask the Ola or maybe Uber, or there are few more companies that have launched their services with us. So you've asked them to provide their service, right? You actually haven't purchased their car. No, you just hired it for a particular duration of time, right? That is something called as rental basis. That is something called as a service. What Ola and Uber providing you, they are providing you the rights. They are providing their rights. Their rights is what? Right is their services. Okay, you got a job. You got a job after doing the sales force. You got a job, and you have to be relocated somewhere like, Pune, or maybe Bangalore, or maybe Hyderabad, right? So you go to over there. What you are going to do? Are you going to purchase a new flat for you? Oh, obviously. That is something again you are going to do, but not just by, station se utra और flat खरीदा, ऐसा थोड़ी ना होगा. You will probably first of all see for the flats, but on the rental basis, right? See, if you go and buy a car, it would cost you somewhere around, 15 to 20 lakh, depends on your taste, depends on the kind of brand what you are purchasing, right? Same thing when you hire for yourself, right? When you hire for yourself, it would cost you somewhere around 200 to 500. That's it. There's a huge difference between owing something, becoming the owner of that, or rather renting that service, taking that particular thing, taking that service for a small duration of time, and just paying for that, right? There's a huge difference in that. These all are realistic example. You can understand that. Similarly, cloud provide a revolutionary feature, right? This was before cloud, there was nothing like renting a software. Nobody even has imagined that thing, but cloud brings that into the existence. Not in the existence, in the reality. Everything whatever is being provided from a cloud is provided, right? Is provided. For example, it is provided onto the rental based service, onto the service as a service. Now let's say you go to Microsoft, you ask them that I wanted to have a software with you. They will say it would cost you somewhere around like 10 lakh for one copy. You say, oh yeah, I just have started, we are having a very less amount of investment with us, can you please give it in the 50,000? They will say, go back and wash your mouth and come back to us. And then you come to somebody like me, who is actually a cloud vendor. I'm also selling a software, but my software are based on cloud. Okay, you come to me and you will say, I wanted to have an application, a CRM application. I said, yes, I have opened my shop for this only yet. And you will say to me that, yeah, but I am having a very less amount of investment. I just have started. We are 5 friends. We just have started. Right now, even though we don't have office, we are sitting somewhere, we are sitting somewhere in the coffee shop, and we started working. I said, no problem, buddy. No problem. I'll going to help you out. My products, whatever I'll the product, the software, whatever I'll be providing you, that would be on the rental basis. You certainly don't require to pay me a lot for this. What you require? Just pay me 1,000 rupees. Just pay me 5,000 rupees for a year. Take this software, go and work on this. And when how only thing would be like, you'll have to come back to me, you'll have to contact to me after 1 year, and we'll talk about renewal and so all that. But at least you can use this application for next 1 year, and just a small amount you require to pay for it. This is where the concept of startup has started. When this idea is emerged in the technology, that you could even get softwares, you could even get platforms, you could even get server spaces, whatever an IT provide you, for which you have to pay a lump sum amount, now you can get it on the rental basis. Why? All because of cloud. So there was a time people started thinking, "Arey, abhi to bahut kam investment mein, we could create our own company." Before that, it was not. Whenever somebody, if someone is actually trying to open a software company, it was a very huge investment. And hardware was not like something which is consideration. Software was the thing. हार्डवेयर के लिए तो यू कुड मेक अ कॉन्टैक्ट विद डेल और एचपी और व्हाटएवर, एंड यू विल से कि यार मैं तेरे को 12 इंस्टॉलमेंट में दे दूंगा. सॉफ्टवेयर के लिए कोई इंस्टॉलमेंट नहीं थी. You have to pay entire amount right on that agreement. If you for example you are requiring 50 lakh for hardware, you will make a direct contact with Dell or whatever company, and you'll say to them, see, I'm purchasing this much amount, right? This much amount of product from you. I want you to have certain installment. They will give it to you. They will give it to you. But when the same thing you come and you will say to Microsoft, I know I'm actually purchasing 50 lakh software. Could you please give me 12 installment? They will say, go and wash your mouth. So this is what was happening before cloud. And after cloud, the whole scenarios got changed. Because whatever you were getting, whatever you were getting, by paying a lump sum amount and whatever, the expensive softwares, the same kind of functionality, you are also getting it right now. But by paying a small amount. How come? Because you actually don't become owner in that case. When you are sitting in an Ola or Uber cab, are you an owner? No, no, you are just a customer. You ask for their services, they are giving you a right, but you are not owner. Owner is somebody else. But still, you can enjoy your right. Okay, you take a flat for rent. You stay over there for 1 year, 2 year, whatever is your tenure with the company, and you stay. You enjoy your stay over there. You just are paying like 10,000 or maybe 15,000 per month, but you actually are staying in a 50 lakh flat. You are staying on 12th floor. The view is excellent, right? You are enjoying all this. Why? Are you purchase that? No, you are not an owner. You are just what? You are just a customer. You're just a client to that. That is what a concept of cloud computing. So every services, every IT resources, whatever a company provides you, like softwares, applications, servers, whatever, you don't require to become an owner for that. Rather, ask for rental basis. Rental basis. And this rental, paying the rent and getting the services, is something called as a service. This is something called as a service. I hope the concept is clear with everyone. So yesterday, what we have seen was a technical comparison, rather, I could say. A technical comparison. This is more technological comparison. So why a revolution was bring by the cloud computing? That is the reason what just now we have, we have discussed. How the revolution, a different kind of revolution was started with something called as cloud computing. What was the agenda of that revolution? Why this all started? Like it started in our country somewhere like, 100 or years back when we got our freedom in 1947. There was a revolution which was going on for more than 150 years. Something similar to that has been started in technology somewhere around like 20 years back, 15 years back. And what is the outcome of that? Cloud computing. Cloud computing, right? That is what the outcome of this. Anyways, now see, when we talk about the kind of services offered by a cloud, majorly there are three different categories. Although there are a few more terminologies I have seen, but I don't feel that's important to discuss. Majorly, there are three different types of services cloud offers to you. SaaS, software as a service. PaaS, platform as a service. IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay. We're going to have a discussion one by one on to all of them. All of them. Okay, see, the first thing is SaaS, software as a service, right? Uh, Let me take one of the example for this. White hat, everyone has, or maybe Byju's, right? You must have, every one of us must has listened this name because they are very good in publicizing themselves, right? They are very good in putting the advertisements on almost every channel. I wanted you to know one thing, that it was all white hat. First of all, that was the entirely built up on the Salesforce. And when Byju's has, Byju's has taken the rights of this, Byju's is still now is using Salesforce, right? Okay. So let's try to understand with that example that, see, if you have you develop sorry you downloaded that application by user whatever, right? And you are using that application. For example, you buy a, or maybe with Udemy, anyways, whatever, could be anything. You or maybe then Ola, Uber, wherever the application what you are using right now, right? For example, you download an application of Ola or maybe Uber or maybe Byju's or whatever. To that company, you are a customer. Why? Because you are using their application, right? You have a downloaded version of Ola, Uber, or maybe that Byju's application, or maybe some another application, right? You have a Spotify, whatever. You are using the applications, right? You are the customers to that company. Now, because we see, we haven't developed that application. Although we also are software engineers, but this application we have not developed. We are actually using that application. Now, whenever there's a company, whenever there's a company who offers you a software so that you can use it, so that you can use it, right? Whenever there is a company which offers you an application so that you can use it, what kind of service this is called? This is called as software as a service. And why as a service? Because we are talking everything in terms of cloud computing. And I told you before we start this, cloud, everything offers, everything that offers by a cloud is always on a rental basis, is always as a service, right? So now let's forget about everything related to on-premise. Whatever we will be, from this onward, whatever we are discussing this in terms of cloud, in terms of Salesforce, right? In terms of cloud, in terms of Salesforce, right? Okay, the software. So for example, if there is a company who's offering you a software that so that you can use it for your purpose, you can use it. This kind of service is called as software as a service. This kind of service is called as software as a service. So this SaaS is for whom? The SaaS is for the end users, for the customers, for the clients, so that they could download the application maybe on their tablet, mobile, computer, whatever, and they could start using that. They could start using your services, but via such applications, right? Via this application. So if there is a company who's offering you a software as their service, we can say that this is somebody who has offered me SaaS. This is somebody who has offered me SaaS. What is SaaS? Software as a service. I'm using his software for next 1 year, till the time my 11th, my 12th, my graduation is going on. Till the time I'm under this training, I'm using their application. I'm using their software, and that is where you could say that this somebody has provided me. This Udemy has provided me. This white hat, this Byju's has provided me a SaaS for that. I registered for a SaaS with them. What they provided me a SaaS. They provided me a software. They provided me an application, right? This is what a SaaS. And SaaS is obviously for our end users, for our clients, for our customers, right? Okay, that was another side of coin. Let's come to another side. The other side of coin is like, if there is a software, it must be developed by somebody. There is a creator for that. There's a developer for that, right? So when there is a company which offers you a platform so that, and this is for the developers, this is not for the end customer. This is for the software developers and maybe software testers and the someone who deploy the code called as deployers, or maybe the project managers, or maybe maybe are like even like those who are involved in the delivery as well. Delivery managers, they are also over this process. So when there's a company that offers you a platform so that the developers could develop something, Okay. For example, if you are a Java developer, let's say, or maybe you are a .NET developer, or maybe you are a Python developer, or maybe you are a simple website developer. See, whenever you develop something, being a software engineer, you must require certain tools. For Java, you require Java runtime environment, Java development kit, whatever. For .NET, you probably going to require Microsoft Suite. Python also requires certain applications, at least VS Code. For your website development, you probably require, there are so many different softwares for that as well. For your front end, back end, Node, JS, React, everywhere, everywhere you require certain tools so that you can carry out your development process. There is always, if you're a software tester, you're probably going to require Symbian for that, right? If you're a deployment kind of buddy, so you probably require something called as DevOps tool. So everywhere, see, everywhere, whatever is your work, whatever is your job, there's a software, there's an application for that. So the company who is providing you the software, the company is providing the software on the rental basis, precisely on the rental basis. The example is GoDaddy. You might have seen that advertisement, GoDaddy. They provide you the server spaces, and you simply don't want it to, simply don't require to buy it. You just require to rent it for a year. After 1 year, your subscription is going to be ended. They will give you the periodical reminders, and as well, yeah, your subscription is about to end in next week. You just require to make a small amount so that of payment, so that we could renew your license for next 1 year again. So they are providing what? They are providing you certain services, a platform for the development. Because see, as a software developer, when you wanted to work, you must have a platform. What is a platform? Platform are all those tools that help us. Being a software engineer, whatever help us to perform the development is something we call this as a platform. It's something we call this as a platform. So if there is a firm, if there is a software organization, if there is a company who's providing you all these platforms, we could say it's offering me PaaS. This company is offering me PaaS, platform as a service. It's offering me a platform. It is giving me a platform so that I could stand and I could, work. I could make, I could develop the things. But for that, I obviously require to have a platform. That platform is being provided to me with this company. And that's something we call this as a PaaS. Then finally, it comes IaaS, infrastructure as a service. See, infrastructure, IaaS, is actually base of cloud. Without having an infra, there is nothing called as cloud. Yesterday, I coined you a terminology. What is a cloud? Cloud ultimately is a collection of servers, all located in different regions of the world, all over the world. Servers are located. If you're accessing, if you're accessing a web page, it's obviously being accessed from a server, right? We call this server as an infrastructure. The more technical name for the server is infrastructure, that repository, that database. There are so many different kinds of server: file server, database server, backup and recovery server, disaster recovery centers, right? There are so many different kinds of server. There's a common terminology for that: infrastructure. So if there is a company which provides you the server space, like IBM is there, Oracle is there, GoDaddy is there, Amazon is there, Microsoft also is there. Google is also there. The servers of the Google, they're inside the Atlantic Ocean. You probably know this, or you don't know this, you can Google this. They put their server somewhere deep in the ocean. Why? Because see, server actually they accumulate a huge amount of kind of what heat. Whenever in the server room, there's a huge amount of heat, all because of the machineries and what is going on. Now to dissipate that heat to environment, it was all like, it was with the kind of electricity for air conditioning and all that. So somebody has coined, there was a scientist, I just forgot his name. So he has, like, he has given this idea: can't we immerse our server into the ocean itself? So everybody was shocked. See, uh, do you can you put your mobile phone in a glass of water? If you are using Apple, you can definitely do it. But people like me, I cannot take that risk. I'm not using Apple. Anyways, so they realize, here, what you are saying, a whole server we are going to put it inside the water, it will going to create the shocks and everything. Short circuit ho jayega, sab ud jayega. He said, no, let's develop that technology, because if we are being able to develop this, और आपको मैं बताऊं, हैरानी होगी, this was just an idea. There was a paper published in IEEE for this. And somebody just coined this idea. Somebody with it was just an idea. It was not a whole research. Somebody has presented a paper. Okay, see, presently is what happening is like there are the Google, the organization like IBM, Oracle, and they are having lots. They are having offering lots of the spaces. How come? Because they are maintaining their servers and all that, and they are continuously increasing their servers. And there are so many threats with that. Like they right now they are using extensive amount of electricity to maintain the coolings and all that. So I'm having one idea. Can't we put all those into the deep of the ocean? That's a natural kind of AC or whatever. So this whole started like this only. Now people like that idea. Yeah, this is something good. Although it's not possible right now, but if we are able to possible, if you are make this happen, this is going to reduce the electricity consumption a lot. So they started working onto this. Microsoft work, Google work. They combinedly worked onto this, and they make it possible. Their servers right now are into inside the oceans, and they doesn't require anything for cooling of their ocean, right? So this is one of the biggest news with the technology. If you don't know it, just Google and go with that story. I think NetGeo also has covered with 2 to 3 episodes. That's a very interesting thing, yaar. You must watch. It's a very interesting thing. बहुत मजा आएगा आपको देखने का. Like, so any such organization, that offers their servers to you, but on the rental basis, you don't become it. There's nothing called a dedicated server. No, everything what I give you for next 1 year or 5 year. Depends on the kind of SLA we have signed. आपने और मैंने क्या एग्रीमेंट करा है उस पर निर्भर करता है. But otherwise, you are not the owner. I am the owner. I'm offering you my server space. I'm offering you 5 GB of that. I'm having 50 GB server. you know what you require 5 GB, I'm giving you that, but you are not the owner. Still owner is me. I'm giving you that 5 GB for next 1 year. Use it. And if you wanted to continue, just come back and pay me the rental license. I mean, renewal cost, I'll give to you for next 1 year as well, right? That is what. So if there is an organization like GoDaddy, IBM, Oracle, there are so many organizations, and they are offering their server space onto the rental basis as a service. We call this as IaaS, infrastructure as a service. There are so many different organizations that are now using cloud. They are offering their services are cloud. Like, there are Amazon, there are Salesforce, Microsoft, IBM. There's so many organizations. This list seems to be unended. If you Google it, there are so many. There could be like thousands of the names over here. There could be thousands of the names. There are so many different, software organizations. Now they are into the cloud business. They are offering their services, cloud-based services. Amazon with the AWS, you probably have heard. Amazon Web Services. Microsoft with Azure, IBM Cloud, Oracle. They are also, everyone is offering their services, some services of cloud. Some of them are offering SaaS. Some of them are offering PaaS. Some of them are offering EaaS. Like some of them are offering SaaS along with the PaaS. Like if you go with the Amazon, they are offering SaaS and PaaS both. They are not offering EaaS. When you go with the Microsoft, they are also offering SaaS and PaaS. Both of them. IBM and Oracle, they are purely offering you EaaS. Oracle also offers you PaaS as well, but that's an on-premise product. When we come to the cloud, Oracle also offer you EaaS only. Alibaba, GoDaddy, they are only offering you EaaS. VMware, Citrix, Adobe, they are only offering you SaaS. White Hat, Byju's, they are only offering you SaaS, right? Saint-Gobain, you might have heard this name, probably with the glass company. No, it's an IT company, Saint-Gobain. That's a subsidiary product. But Saint-Gobain actually is, it's a very good IT company. It's following the Google culture. That means if you got the recruitment in Saint-Gobain, तुम्हारी life बन गई boss. तुम्हारी life बन जाएगी. So it's offering, the same work culture as the Google offers. That's a very big company. So I have only 2 offices in India, one in Bangalore, second in Mumbai. अब जाओ मुंबई एक बार देखो, ऑफिस देखो इसका, वहीं फ्लैट हो जाओगे. 2 दिन तक वहां से हिलोगे नहीं. So what I wanted to say is like, there are so many companies, they are offering kind of uh, their services, but onto the rental basis. There are so many of them. What it makes Salesforce distinguish. Let's come to mudde wali baat. There are so many different organizations. They are offering their services. They are offering their cloud services. Some of them are offering SaaS, some of them PaaS and EaaS like this. I haven't added much names over here. There are so many names as well. But you know what it makes Salesforce kind of, standing in front of everyone, standing distinguishedly, identified distinguishedly. What is that? Salesforce is the only cloud vendor. Listen this very carefully. Salesforce is the only cloud vendor. Salesforce is the only that organization in the world which is offering you all three kinds of cloud services. Everything. Salesforce is offering you everything related to cloud. Salesforce is the one who offer you SaaS. Salesforce often offer you PaaS, and Salesforce even offer you EaaS. Salesforce is the only cloud vendor in the technological market. Salesforce is the only IT organization. Salesforce is the only software company in the world which offers you all three kinds of cloud services: SaaS, PaaS, and EaaS. And this is not just a topic. I'm going to, in the next lecture by tomorrow, I'll going to elaborate you this as well, ki how exactly Salesforce offer you SaaS and then PaaS and then EaaS. That is the next topic we're going to have a discussion. Right now, it's an introduction. It's an introduction to know what you are learning, which technology you are going. Salesforce is that technology which is offer, which offering you all three kinds of cloud services. Salesforce offer you SaaS and PaaS and EaaS. And by the way, nobody else. Even ServiceNow is also one of the company. ServiceNow is also one of the company. ServiceNow, it's a good company. It is also giving you good products, but they are even offering something called a SaaS and PaaS only. They even don't, have EaaS. Seems to be a close competitor to Salesforce. There are so many competitors. This seems to be a close competitor. Okay. I have learned ServiceNow as well. Like ServiceNow is also a good technology, but then there are certain limitations. Right now, it's under the development stage, and this is coming to India. I mean, it's come. People have started working onto this, but the market is very low. But this is something which is I'm expecting probably. After Salesforce, what is the second technology that will take market in India? Would be ServiceNow. But for that, it is probably like, well, at least 3 to 5 years. Okay. But Salesforce is best right now because I wanted to start my career right now. And I'm not saying that when ServiceNow would, when ServiceNow will come up, the service, so 1 second here. Salesforce will going to down. No, it's not like that. It is not going to be happen in any case. We will be going to learning so many, we will going to learn so many different reasons for that, right? But yeah, just to make you aware about what is coming in the market, because see, I deal with the clients from the US and I'm having my friends over staying over there. So it's a usual discussion whenever whenever we had a discussion. Being a software engineer, we started with some informal discussion and it's always ended with the formal one. So this is how we came to know about what is going on there, right? So there's a technology called ServiceNow. I'm having a friend who's actually working for the ServiceNow right now, and he has told me this like 2 years back that this is one of the technology. And that time I started learning that. So it's a good technology. It seems to be a good, but then it will take some time in India uh, to actually spread it properly. But anyways, the service now still is having certain drawbacks, and it is not fully developed by the way. Especially with the customization, is not good. Salesforce is good in everything, with the non coding, with the coding, everything, and especially with the LWC, Lightning Web Component. Salesforce has become far ahead, far ahead. I'm telling you that. तो अभी Salesforce को compete करना पहले भी मुश्किल था और अब तो बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल हो चुका है. Because now we are following so many different standards. We are with ECMA 6, ECMA 7 पे हमें अभी, and then there are so many different reasons यार. Gradually धीरे धीरे तुमको पता चलते जाएगा कि what is the gravity of Salesforce. तो अभी तो जस्ट एक पॉइंट मैंने दिया आज तुमको कि देखो दुनिया में इतने सारे लोग हैं यार, इतनी बड़ी बड़ी कंपनी है, इतनी सारी चीजें, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, आईबीएम, ओरेकल, मजाक नहीं है. इवन सेल्सफोर्स को जिसने स्टार्ट किया है, राइट, मार्क बेनियोफ, राइट, मार्क बेनियोफ वाज आल्सो फॉर्मल एम्प्लॉय ऑफ ओरेकल. तो देखो ये वो लोग हैं लाइक जिन्होंने कितने सालों से, जिन्होंने एक्चुअली टेक्नोलॉजी लाई है, मतलब कहना चाहिए, बट स्टिल दे आर नॉट केपेबल टू ऑफर ऑल थ्री काइंड्स ऑफ क्लाउड सर्विसेज. और सेल्सफोर्स जो कि 1999 मार्च में स्टार्ट हुआ था, now it has captured the market of whole CRM, and there are so many good reasons for that. There are so many good reasons for that. One of them is like Salesforce right now is the only one organization which is offering you all three kinds of cloud services: SaaS and PaaS and EaaS, right? Okay, this was all about today. This I'm going to take some other lecture. ये बाद में कभी लास्ट लेक्चर में डिस्कशन करूंगा मैं इन सब चीजों के बारे में. टुमारो वुड बी टुमारो वुड बी, अभी तक तो मैं क्लाउड ही बता रहा था आपको, एंड बाय टुडे जस्ट आई हैव taken the name of the Salesforce. Tomorrow would be like, I'm going to start with this, how exactly Salesforce offer you SaaS and PaaS and EaaS. This is going to be tomorrow's discussion. That's all for today. I'm giving you this command. Now you can unmute yourself. If you wanted to ask me, please unmute yourself and ask me. And please don't put your questions in the chat. This is not going to happen in the interview. When they ask you a question, you will going to answer. You will not going to, chat with them. So make this as a regular practice in the class as well. Yes. Any questions? Yes, Fazal. Good.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Sir, myself, Fazal Amin, I am actually from non-technical background.
Mm-hmm.
सर, आपने जैसे जावा के बारे में कहा कि एक ओपन टेक्नोलॉजी है,
Mm.
तो सर ओपन टेक्नोलॉजी यानी होता क्या है ये? यानी इसमें
नहीं,
क्या चीज होती
सारे
है?
Java is a mix. I mean, Java is not just open. Java is a combination of open source as well as closed. There are few of the components in Java that could be redesigned. See, if I ask you, can you change the format, like, how does Word look like to be MS Word? Can you change the appearance of Microsoft Word with something like codings and all that? We cannot do that. The whole rights of Microsoft Word is reserved with the Microsoft only. It's the engineers inside the Microsoft, they can only make some appearance over here, right? They can make certain changes. You cannot change the coding of this particular product. So when there is, this is something called as closed product. But whenever there is a certain things where you can make, changes in the base coding, that is something called as open source. तो ये होता है जावा के पूरा जावा नहीं, जावा इज अ सैंडविच ऑफ ओपन सोर्स एंड क्लोज्ड सोर्स एज वेल. तो ये ऐसा है बेसिकली.
यस सर, यानी ओपन सोर्स वाले भी ऐसे कई सारे सॉफ्टवेयर या ऐसी कई सारी वेबसाइट्स होती है, आपका कहने का मतलब जिसके अंदर हम
ओपन
फॉर्मेट
सोर्स
को चेंज कर सकते हैं।
टेक्नोलॉजी होती है, मतलब वेबसाइट से मत समझिए आप. ओपन सोर्स इज जस्ट अ टेक्नोलॉजी. कि जब कोई
ओके,
टेक्नोलॉजी आती है तो उसमें दो तरह की चीजें होती हैं. एक होता है कि फॉर एग्जांपल इट इज जस्ट लाइक अगर आप शेयर में इन्वेस्ट करते हो, अगर आप शेयर में इन्वेस्ट करते हो, तो देखिए कैसा होता है कि अगर मान के चलिए कि एक ऐसा कंपनी फॉर्म हुआ है जिसमें सिर्फ 5 ही इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, है ना, और वो मतलब जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट आएगा वो लाइक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड समझ लीजिए कि वो कुछ ग्रुप ऑफ लोग हैं उनसे ही आएगा. बट व्हेन यू मेक इट लाइक व्हेन यू मेक इट अ पब्लिक फर्म, तो जब आप लोगों से पूछते हो कि आप हमारी कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहोगे क्या, इफ यू वांटेड टू इन्वेस्ट इन माय कंपनी, दिस इज माय मिनिमम शेयर प्राइस, तो यू आल्सो बिकम अ शेयर होल्डर विद दैट. तो इट इज समथिंग लाइक दैट ओनली कि इफ यू डेवलप अ प्रोडक्ट, फॉर एग्जांपल यू बीइंग अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर हैज डेवलप अ प्रोडक्ट, बट देन यू वांटेड कि अगर कोई और सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर है दुनिया में और वो इस प्रोडक्ट में कुछ इंप्रूवमेंट करना चाहता है, तो लेट्स मेक इट एन ओपन सोर्स. हम उसको अलाउ करते हैं कि आप चाहें तो इस प्रोडक्ट को मॉडिफाई कर सकते हो. आई एम डोंट हैविंग एनी इश्यूज विद दैट. तो ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स का कॉपीराइट नहीं होता है, सबसे पहली बात. एंड देयर इज नो प्रोप्राइटरी फॉर दैट, because everyone have an access to modify it up to a certain level. Of course you cannot completely modify it, but up to a certain level you can modify that. So this type of product doesn't have any proprietary. So Java is a combination of that. There are so many things which are actually being registered with Sun Microsystem, right? तो उतना पोर्शन पे आप चेंजेस नहीं कर सकते. यू कैन नॉट चेंज द बेस ऑफ दैट, वी कैन नॉट चेंज द बेसिक इंग्रेडिएंट, आई कुड से. बट देन देयर आर सो मेनी अदर थिंग्स वेयर यू कैन मेक द मॉडिफिकेशंस. जावा हैज अलाउड you to that particular portion where you can modify the product up to a certain level is something called as an open source. Got it?
राइट सर। एंड सर जैसे SaaS के बारे में आपने बताया, सर्विस एज़ अ सर्विस, सॉफ्टवेयर एज़ अ सर्विस, ऐसा सॉफ्टवेयर जिसको हम एज़ अ रेंटल वे में दे रहे हैं, 1 महीने के लिए या साल भर के लिए, दोबारा एग्रीमेंट हो। आपने इसमें एक बेहतरीन एग्जांपल दिया कि बायजूस इज़ आल्सो द कस्टमर ऑफ द सेल्सफोर्स। बायजूस खुद सेल्सफोर्स की टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करते हैं। तो
Hmm.
सर मतलब आप जब बोल रहे थे एज़ अ रेंट, तो आप यानी बायजूस के जो यूज़र्स हैं, जैसे मैं एक स्टूडेंट हूँ, मैंने उनका ऐप डाउनलोड किया है और मैंने उसके लिए कुछ मिनिमम चार्जेस भी पे कर रहा हूँ या फ्री में मैं उनका ऐप चला रहा हूँ। तो
Hmm.
मैं एज़ अ सर्विस उनका सॉफ्टवेयर एज़ अ सर्विस ले रहा हूँ या फिर आप बायजूस को मतलब बोल रहे हैं कि वो सेल्सफोर्स से ले रहे हैं करके?
नहीं, you, because you are a customer, you are using their application, right? You are using their services, राइट. हो सकता है एप्लीकेशन आपने फ्री में डाउनलोड किया हो, फिर आपने जिस प्रोडक्ट के लिए पैसे दिए हैं, जिस ट्रेनिंग के लिए पैसा दिया है, उसी में एप्लीकेशन का कॉस्ट भी कवर हो जाता है. एग्जैक्टली exactly. है ना. भले ही वो आपको डायरेक्टली नहीं बोलेगा कि एप्लीकेशन तुमको परचेस करना पड़ेगा या रेंट पे करना पड़ेगा. हो सकता है आपको बोले दैट्स अ फ्री थिंग, यू कैन डाउन जस्ट गो टू गूगल प्ले स्टोर एंड डाउनलोड इट फ्रॉम देयर. बट वेन एवर यू सब्सक्राइब, व्हेन यू रजिस्टर योरसेल्फ फॉर अ ट्रेनिंग, देयर यू हैव टू पे इट. तो इनडायरेक्टली सही है, आपने एप्लीकेशन का कॉस्ट तो पे कर दिया ना उसको. ठीक है.
ओके
दैट
सर,
इज व्हाट.
तो बायजूस मुझे सर्विस दे रहे हैं, सर्विस एज़ अ सॉफ्टवेयर प्रोवाइड कर रहे
सॉफ्टवेयर दे रहे हैं एज अ सर्विस.
हैं। ओके, ना कि सेल्सफोर्स।
ना.
ओके,
Please go on mute. Yes, next question, please. Next question, please. Sakshi.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Hmm.
sir, आपने बोला कि that point that cloud service means infrastructure as a service. I didn't understand that point.
I first of all didn't get what you are asking. What
That
you
means
sorry?
infrastructure as a service.
Okay. You
हाँ
don't
हाँ.
understand it by today, right?
Yeah, yes. What is that point? I didn't understand. I
Uh,
confused.
don't worry. We're going to have a discussion it by tomorrow. So today was just
Okay,
an introduction.
okay.
Tomorrow we are going to see the
हाँ.
same point, but more, more in terms of Salesforce, right? So don't worry about that.
Okay, okay. Sir, thank you.
Yes. Any more questions? Okay. Once again, I'm saying this. The one whose name is iPhone. Could you please rename yourself? There's a small setting what you require to do in the Zoom client. Just rename yourself because that's essential. I could see somebody's name as an iPhone. Please rename yourself to your original name. Yeah. Who's this?
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Good morning.
Sir, I am Sunil.
Sunil, just rename
Oh,
yourself, please. Yes, Pallavi, go ahead.
sir, I just wanted to ask you. Yesterday, you explained that types of cloud, that is public, private, hybrid.
Yeah.
So now these technologies like platform SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So which type of clouds are being used in this?
It's we cannot exactly restrict the types of cloud over here
Hmm,
because see when you consider SaaS, it's considered
hmm,
SaaS. Some part of this is obviously public, right? But then there are few of the things they have restricted. That means let's say the example of this Byju's and all that only. You can download the application that's freely available, right? For that, I could consider that downloading and installation is free. You certainly don't require to pay it for them, right? But when you wanted to, when you wanted to use any service, so you probably would require to subscribe that. And let's say
yes.
that you go to the Byju's and or maybe White Hat and you registered yourself for a particular course, you paid the amount, and after paying the
Hmm,
amount they have given you the credits, right? You now is having a login credentials. So if you wanted to
hmm,
access that particular service, you have to register and you have to make yourself authenticated. From that point and onward, everything is
hmm.
private, exactly. So it's always,
Okay.
unless and until you are going with the government websites, they are fully restricted. They are
Hmm,
you're going with the financial website, they are again fully restricted. So we can say that complete private cloud is somewhere is only implemented with the restricted organizations. But
okay.
most for every other places, it's almost somewhere it's hybrid only. For the most
Okay.
of the things, it's hybrid only. Otherwise,
Okay.
most of like they are only public.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
सर आप बोल रहे थे कि क्लाउड वेंडर्स में अमेज़न आता है, तो
Hmm.
अमेज़न मतलब एडब्ल्यूएस जो कि मैंने सुना है, वो क्या एज़ अ सर्विस प्रोवाइड करता है?
SaaS and PaaS, both of them.
ओह!
Amazon Web
ओके।
Services is also a tool where you can develop the product, right?
हाँ, हाँ, हाँ।
And it's itself is
ओके,
a product as well. Understood. So that's how
ओह!
it's a SaaS, and that is why it's PaaS also.
ओके।
Yes. Tell me, what is this?
हेलो सर, जैसे हम गूगल ड्राइव की बात करते हैं, तो गूगल ड्राइव इज ऑल्सो द क्लाउड बेस्ड टेक्नोलॉजी,
That is something called as single sign-on, and it's a Google services, Google Web Services. But what is good with the Google is, you have so many facilities with single sign-on. I mean, what does it mean by single sign-on? Like, you registered. I see. I go to Gmail, right? I go to Gmail. That means I actually am accessing the Gmail services only. But when I have put my credentials to access my Gmail account, Google also have allowed me to use all these services. These all are the web services, right? These all are the web services. So even when you are using Drive or Google Meet or Google Play Store or the Maps, this is something, a concept of single sign-on. That means you can sign with any of this application. If you sign with Gmail, if you sign with Google Meet or maybe with Drive, you could access all the application. There's a set of application that you can use from the Google. This concept is called as single sign-on, and these are something called as web services technically. Otherwise, in simple language, you can call this an application. For a common man, it's an application. For a software developer, these are the web services.
Means it's not a cloud services with
All of
Google
them
Drive.
are all of them are cloud services. All of
Cloud services.
Yeah. Any other questions?
सर जैसे अभी आपने जैसे इस बात की कि all the world is going on the cloud, हर चीज़ अब cloud पे ट्रांसफर हो रही है. Possible sir?
I didn't get what you are asking. So many disturbance from your side.
Hello, am I audible?
Mm-hmm.
सर जैसे अभी आपने इस बात की कि everything is going on a cloud. पूरे
Mm-hmm.
वर्ल्ड की पूरी चीजें सब क्लाउड बेस्ड हो रही है, सिस्टम बेस्ड हो रही है. तो सर मेरा ये कहना था कि क्लाउड बेस्ड टेक्नोलॉजी इज अ रिस्क टू प्राइवेसी प्राइवेसी को हमारा सारा
No,
डेटा तो
no.
क्लाउड पे जा रहा है और वो तो कोई भी एक्सेस कर सकता है.
Can anyone please tell me what Fazal is asking? I'm not getting you.
We are also
Last,
not getting, sir.
last part I
Sir,
just missed.
ask him to remove his headphones, sir.
You
Due to
can
your
tell him.
headphones, we are not getting.